But let's talk about Hugh Morrus for a
All
second,
right.
because I love that name. The fact that someone created a name, but humorous, Hugh Morrus, like, god
Humorous. Yeah.
damn, give that person a raise. Was that you? Who came up with this name?
No, so and I've talked about this, probably at nauseum. The thing was when I came into WCW in 1995, they didn't have a set character or idea. The
Mm-hmm.
idea was 6'2", 300 something pounds. Let's do something with him. So I think I started out as the man of question was how I was originally introduced. Um, and then going into the dungeon, and I did a promo at CNN Center in front of Terry Taylor, and it was about Randy Savage. And the only instruction I got was talk about Randy Savage. I'm going, holy crap, really? Like day one, this is what I'm doing. So I didn't know what to say, so I just broke out into that nervous laugh. And I believe it was Terry Taylor's wife at the time said that guy's very humorous. So my name was humorous until I didn't understand why you would call someone humorous.
Mm.
But then I don't know if it was Tony Schiavone or Bobby Heenan at the time. They didn't say humorous; they said Hugh Morris, which then really flipped me out because I'm like, well, who the hell calls someone Hugh Morris? So Kevin Sullivan said, "You got to be kidding me! Like this is your concern?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't get it." And he goes, "Okay, let's make sure everybody says the Laughing Man, Hugh Morris."
Mm.
So that's how it came to be.
My God, that reminds me of for years, like Just Incredible. You hear these names that Kimberly, like there's names that are connected, but someone's like, I'll just break this up into two pieces and
Yeah,
make it a first name and a last name.
yeah,
But I absolutely loved it. And the fact that you came in immediately in the Dungeon of Doom trying to take down Hulk Hogan and the Hulkamaniacs. Great stuff. Let's play a little game here. Let's rattle
okay,
off some names from the Dungeon of Doom and just talk about him for a minute. So you had the Master and you had the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, trying to take down Hulk Hogan. But I love the names though because you keep adding more. Kamala, the Yeti, who hugged Hulk Hogan in an unappropriate way on television, which you all saw that. The Shark. Now, to me, this one is very shocking to me because you have the Shark. I know when he came in, he's Earthquake in the WWF. He comes in as Avalanche. Apparently, that's a little too close to Earthquake, which I think is a little bizarre, don't you think?
it'd be bizarre if he was under a hood and he didn't look like the same person.
Mm.
I mean, Big John Tenta is Big John Tenta. There was no, you could call him whatever you want. It's the same as to me. It was the equivalent of calling one man gang Akeem. It's it's hard to say, well, like it's a totally different person. I think it would have been great as stayed as Avalanche, but he was the Shark, and uh what we had the Zodiac, right?
Yeah, you had the Zodiac, Bruce the Barber Beefcake, the man. Yes, no, yes, no, and then eventually they tried to say he was undercover in the Dungeon of Doom, and he became the Booty Man. So and he was the butcher for a little while though, and
Yeah,
again, too close to Bruce the Barber Beefcake. Yeah, whoever the lawyers are working for the WWF at the time, man, they ain't playing around.
yeah.
They ain't playing around with that shit.
He had a
Um,
lot of name changes. Yeah,
yeah, Ming, Z Gangsta, who I believe was Zeus in the No Holds Barred movie.
yeah.
The name that always is like the ultimate solution. I don't think people have looked up that name before they gave it to him. That involves a lot of Nazi stuff and Hitler, and that's the stuff you don't want on television. Loch Ness, someone who lasted like 2 weeks, and the Barbarian. There were so many others, but that
Yeah,
group to me was outstanding. Those backstage segments. Where are you filming all those segments inside? The dungeon.
they were brought. So we were brought into. That was in a big warehouse in Tampa, and so we would fly into Tampa every week or every other week and shoot a bunch of the vignettes there. But it was a big warehouse. We were there all day long. I think a lot of us should have had black lung from all the smoke.
Oh no.
You're coming through the entrances and all that stuff. But it was a lot of fun. But for me coming in, I was like, I'm surrounded by some of the biggest men in the industry. I mean, I'm talking about not not even just name wise, I'm talking about size wise,
Mm.
where I believe I might have been the smallest person in the Dungeon of Doom.
Wow.
Until Conan, I was the smallest person in the Dungeon of Doom.
Another strange addition to the Dungeon of Doom. If it just felt like at one point they were like, "Hey, do you like Hulk Hogan?" They're like, "No." Perfect. You're in this group. You're in this group.
It was more of a, hey, that guy bumps.
Ah.
Hey, that guy's big and he bumps. Hey, they're big and they bump. Dungeon of Doom. But the running joke amongst us in the dungeon was it was always, they were trying to get someone else in there who could get there before everybody else. And that's where I really screwed myself over, because every time we hit the ring, I'd be the first one in the ring. But that equated to 4 chair shots before everybody else got to the ring. Because let's face it, Loch Ness isn't running the 40 to get into the ring. So it was I ripped myself for the longest time in a dungeon. I never learned my lesson.
You ran too fast.
I got there too soon.
You weren't being paid by the minute.
Yeah,
you should have just slowed down and let Barbarian in there first.
I was totally gung ho, and all those veterans said, "Let the new kid do it."
Yeah, you got it, kid. You want to get in there first? We'll give that an opportunity. Yeah, they're all laughing behind your back like this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.